Mario is a character famous throughout generations. It's been decades since it has secured a position in everybody's hearts. But did you know that the company that brought out our favorite Mario to life is about 130 years old? Yeah, you heard right. Nintendo has been leading the gaming industry for a century. We're sure that you weren't aware of this fact, that Nintendo is actually super old. And don't worry, this video will take you back to when the company originated. But before that, subscribe to our channel by hitting that big red button down there, and you can score a red mushroom. Nintendo is well known and one of the most loved and best gaming companies to ever exist. The streets of Japan were under the bad influence of gambling, whether to earn money or to have a little fun playing games. But as gambling isn't a very good habit, the government decided to ban playing cards. This was an unfortunate event for many. So let's take you back to 1889. A young artist and entrepreneur named Fusajiro Yamauchi chose to create something new for the community of Japan and opened up a shop for some new kinds of cards. These were hand-painted with different colors and designs. The cards depicted items, and they were called Hanafuda cards. He named the shop Nintendo. So now you see what Nintendo was about 130 years ago. The journey from a small shop in Japan of hand-painted cards to being a multi-million-dollar gaming company, well, that's something worth knowing. The real name of the shop was Nintendo Co, which means leaving one's fortune in the hands of fate. Fate surely brought the company to success. The quality and reliability of Yamauchi's cards made him a hit within days of release. The demands were increasing daily, so he had to start producing these cards in a higher quantity. The cards were hand-printed on hardwood, hence they were durable but costly to produce simultaneously. He had to work really hard with the paintings to satisfy the public's demand. Hard work is indeed the key to success. He expanded his business to other cities and territories in Japan, where the original cards were banned. As the brand became more popular, Yamauchi started producing basic Western-style cards to create new demand for the public. These cards were the seed of the amazing tree Nintendo grew into. By the time Yamauchi came to retirement age, his company had gained immense popularity and had become Japan's #1 card company. Now, the main question arises when Yamauchi, the founder, reaches retirement age. How did the company grow so much from them? He couldn't transfer the company to his daughter because in Japan, only male heirs could receive family businesses and assets. So to keep his company in good hands, Yamauchi adopted his son-in-law, who decided to take his father-in-law's name very proudly. He became the second president in 1929 of the company Nintendo Co. With the company already in a good position, it was obvious that the only path now would be upwards, but unfortunately the company hit a major wall due to World War II. Now, World War II was a terrifying and traumatic time for all Japanese families, and no one liked to engage in card-playing games during the war. The war led to a ban on card games and manufacturing. The Japanese community no longer indulged in card games, and this could have been game over for Nintendo. Yep, it could have been the end, but Nintendo got an extra life. Financial help was provided to Sukiro by his granddaughter-in-law, who came from a wealthy family. The financial support provided the company with a good time for growth, and for about a decade the company was smoothly running. Soon the current president's health started failing and Sukiro began to fall ill. Sadly, no male heirs were born to take over the company after him. Nintendo faced several issues before reaching the top, but another problem came in the company's path. Inaba, the son-in-law who was also an artist in the company, left them and abandoned the whole family, including the company. So with no option left, the grandson, also known as Inaba's son, was made the heir of the Nintendo Co. kingdom. Hiroshi was now the president of the company, and when he took over, the company started growing again. By 1953, Nintendo became the first company to mass-produce plastic cards. With the rising success of Nintendo, the president was contacted by Disney for a collaboration. This is when Disney-themed classic animated characters were added to the playing cards in 1959. Within 3 years, by 1961, Nintendo had sold 1.5 million card packs. The name was changed again to Nintendo Limited. They earned about $700,000 in their first year, around 50 million yen. When the company flourished and enjoyed its exponential growth, trouble hit them again. The adult game trends changed dramatically, and people were more interested in playing games like Pacheo Bowling, which was also introduced, catching the public's attention. This left Nintendo dependent on children, but as we know, a child's attention span is extremely low, and they tend to get bored easily. The 60s turned out to be harsh on Nintendo, until they had a turning point, which eventually helped them get stabilized. The Research and Development Department back in 1969 hired a man named Gunpei Yokoi, whose background in manufacturing electronics would change the company's legacy forever. Yokoi had been the main driver behind Nintendo's most famous electronics. In the early 70s, he helped Nintendo develop revolutionary games, including The Match with laser beam shooting and The Wild Gunman. The games use video projection to display a target on a screen and a handheld photo sensor shaped like a pistol. Nintendo could sell millions of copies of these games within a short period. Yokoi developed several more games which were super famous back then. The company got a new face and gained popularity again. We can seriously learn from this that one should never give up. Nintendo kept growing and started developing games in a much larger quantity. Despite success with newly launched video games, they still remembered where the company came from. The original building where it all began continued selling famous cards with the same name. In 1973, they decided to dig deeper and enter the world of video games and completely dwell in it. They signed a deal with Mitsubishi to help them develop better electric games. The collaboration led to the formation of the first microprocessor for video game systems. Two major steps were then taken in 1979, which led to the formation of Nintendo as we know it today. The first thing they did was develop a Nintendo establishment in America. They began with New York. Here, many of our beloved games were developed. The second thing was creating a new department in the company. They hired bright-minded people who were smart and innovative to focus on developing new games only. In 1980, the first ever handheld video game system came to life. This game was also created by the legendary creator Yokoi. This might come to many as a shock, but the development of this game was through the mechanics of nothing but a calculator. This gaming system gained popularity as soon as it was released. About 43 million units were sold solely during the first purchase of the game's production period. In the next year, 1981, the first arcade game by Nintendo was released globally. It was none other than the famous Donkey Kong. This character is even celebrated today, even after so many years. People were amazed and greatly enjoyed about this game and the concept. It was completely new. Did you know that Mario was initially known as Jumpman? It was changed later to honor one of the members of Nintendo, Mario Segal. Today, this character still ranks as one of the most known fictional characters. Gradually, they started developing home video games and introduced a family video game. Soon, with time, their technology grew. And what we see today is what Nintendo has developed into. And we hope this video brought some inspiration within your hearts, as never giving up is a great path to success. Subscribe to the Business Owl for more such videos and look at other million-dollar company stories to see how they reached the top.